Good afternoon from house arrest. Game 19 of ITSL, organised by BasqueMex against JL Dirion, who plays USA to my USSR. Looks like he's in, so let us also. So we will open 4-4-1. We're going to go for the Vietnam Revolts plus cheeky Asia scoring. We've got Bleshu. She's got the Rona. We're going to go with Vietnam Revolts Asia scoring. If we get defected, we will fall back. We might be able to get duck and cover off cheap as well, but Vietnam plus Asia scoring looks pretty sweet. Let's plug this in. US, Japan, Asia, Vietnam Revolts. Duck and cover, 5-year plan, which we can hold to discard a nasty scoring card. Suez, NTB. If I didn't have Vietnam and Asia, Suez plus cooing on Iran would have been fairly good. 7 cards, what's my 8th? Fidel. Right, so let's go Vietnam plus Asia. 4-4-2. So they contain. And we'll get Asia scoring off the dom. So, what are we looking for? Some good coups on Iran if they don't progress too far, leading to Suez to clear out Israel and hopefully deny the Middle East. That's the dream. If we get DEFCON down to 2, we space, duck and cover and hold 5-year plan to ditch Europe scoring, or Middle East if that's the unfavourable card. Okay, go straight for France. Ah, yes, of course, because it has that option. So we will coup on Iran. It's not great. We'll get the last coup. We'll just overprotect. We won't raise country count in Europe. So counter coup coming. We're hoping for a 1. That is the opposite of a 1. So we use duck and cover to push into Afghanistan plus Iraq. That is deeply unsatisfying. If Europe scoring doesn't drop, we might use Fidel to tap West Germany and then Suez. I know we can only use Suez if we ditch the China card, can't we? We don't need to. Let's just straight trade. It's going to end up 3-3 with access to India, isn't it? So let's space US Japan. We get away. Splendid. also gets away. I mean, that's a 3-op card for him, so I would have played 2 into Egypt, 1 into Jordan, taken the chance, tried to develop board state, but fine. Alright, we'll use Fidel to tap West Germany. I think we will use the China card here and hold Suez M 5-year plan. 5 years of fallback, but Suez is the headline. If it's not defected, we can take France. UNI is dropping. NASA for a single point. Well, 2 points. 2 into Egypt. Interesting. The Middle East does not look great. Let's overload Asia. Because I think we still want to rely on our Suez 5-year gambit. If we can 5-year away Middle East scoring. This may have been not sensible, but we'll see. With Fidel not triggering by them, we might be able to get CIA out before it matters. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we get both. So headline Suez in the hopes of using Marshall to take it. If we get defected, we can 5-year plan away one of the bad scoring cards. So let's go with that. I may get purged. And it may all come to nothing. We know the Cambridge 5 isn't going to yield anything. We've got Decol, which is a bonus. Okay, you get CIA off. So, if he puts 1 in France, we drop it for 0. If he doesn't put 1 in France, we'll use Marshall Plan to take it. And then we'll 5-year plan away Europe scoring. But 1 in France is the play. One in France puts maximum pressure on because Marshall Plan then can't take it either. But if he misses that, I'll use Marshall and I'll take Europe for 1 VP. Want to finish taking Korea? Great. Alright. So we'll take France. Yes, we're not going to be dominating there, but we can 5-year Middle East. We may as well just event captured Nazi. Take South Korea with Cambridge 5. And then it's 3-all. And he has to plough influence into Japan to make it 3-all. So I expect to see a coup on Iraq here. It's sad not to trigger the chances of domination at all, but c'est la vie. In Europe, this is. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. My biggest concern is they take South Korea before I have a chance to. But with Asia scoring having dropped, I've got time to put right to that. And if they let me get the coup off, I'll coup on Egypt. So here, a coup on Iraq seems likely. No, still going with influence. Cool. We'll overprotect France. Stop them trying that on again. Red Scare purges the last 4-op card out. So you'd have to use the China card at this point. So we're hoping to finish the turn now by getting South Korea organised. Which means no coup, which is a little annoying. So if DEFCON is still 3 when I 5-year plan away Middle Eastern scoring, I'll coup on Panama. Although I'm going to have to event decol before then. Okay. Great. I mean, that's really nothing, so what do we think? We could use captured Nazi to coup on Egypt. It does put it back in the game, but it gets DEFCON down and Milops in my favour unless they play Indo-Pac War. And hey, a big coup is a big result. Let's coup instead. It fails. Alas. That's not ideal. I don't think that's particularly good. But I can now event decol with impunity. They're blockading away. And what do they blockade? Was it D-Star? No, it was SOCGov. Boring. So, we will event decol. Then we'll score Europe, and then we'll 5-year plan away Middle East. Hopefully taking South Korea in the process. Could have defected. Chose instead to headline CIA. Interesting. Philippines and Malaysia, fine. Europe drops for 1. In my favour. I don't think seeing CIA was that great. I would have just defected. Yeah. I would genuinely have just deployed defectors there. So 5-year plan, we're going to be incredibly risk averse and put 1 into France and 2 in South Korea to prevent the China card or purge being used. Nope, he got there first. Alas. So we 5-year away Middle East scoring. We'll level up Asia. So Indo-Pac War costs me a VP in Milops. Otherwise, we'll see what the play is. Okay. Independent Red still hasn't come out. So we'll keep loading up the non-independent area. So I expect to see 2 into Burma here. To cover Indo-Paki War as much as anything. Indo-Pakistani War. Yep. Standard. So, no scoring cards back immediately. We can space duck and cover the big juicy Korean War flip. It has to be, right? Got to start there. That's a big old 50-50. As long as he doesn't headline US-Japan, right. So I got Indo-Pakistani and Korean War and de Gaulle. He got D-Style and Romanian abdication. Formosa, Independent Reds. I got NORAD. I think special relationship left in a previous turn and I didn't log it off. Yeah, turn 1. So let's re-add the discards. I got captured Nazi duck and cover NATO. And defectors. So we'll go with Korean War, and he may headline US-Japan. He's purging me. That's not great. We will enable NATO. No. We can still space duck and cover. So let's instead get a coup off on Egypt. We're hoping for a 4 or higher. Perfect. NATO's now in play, so special relationship obviously does some damage in France as well. We'll space duck and cover event captured Nazi if successful. We'll space duck and cover and space NORAD event captured Nazi if successful. The question is whether we go for the 1 in 6 on Pakistan and India. Probably not productive. Excuse me. We won't race in Europe. We're just hoping Asia doesn't drop anytime soon. Shame about South Korea. That was a 50-50 we really wanted. But that's life. So, get back to tracking. Oh, look. On a dime. He purged me. That's fine. We still got de Gaulle. So we will not immediately react to that. So we'll event captured Nazi. We'll still space NORAD. If they keep pressing, we'll event de Gaulle. I'm sufficiently gun-shy about NORAD that I will space it rather than event it. So he spaces Fidel. I won't have presence in. So now I can't space NORAD. I will hold it. So D-Style, Formosa, Romania, Independent Reds, and one other card is Villain's Hand. So fine, might event Independent Reds. I mean, I'm fine if they do. Doesn't achieve anything. Still waiting to see what that penultimate card is. So, with potentially no scoring card, I'm going to go in at -6 with development in Africa but not South America. But Asia is pretty gross. The Middle East is shaking up okay. Ah, UNI for D-Style. Nice. UN intervention twice and ditching D-Style in 3. Not bad. Takes Israel. We'll finish taking. So Formosa and Independent Reds. Already dominating Asia. So we'll play both for ops, I assume. Into Jordan makes sense to level up battleground count. We're just going to be conservative and event to goal, which basically means tear down this wall is they're out. Mind they're 4-1 on that. Oh, a split. That's fine. I mean, NASA's still to come back out. Okay, we will not use de Gaulle. Although that's easy for them to split. What do we think? Now, we'll event de Gaulle. We'll not worry too much about Middle East right now. Because it's 3 ops to flip Egypt. And he doesn't have it. Not unless he used the China card. So double split for Dom. That's not bad. Let's add the mid-war cards. So NASA we could always hold out to event. We'll space emit. Camp David's not great. South Africa unrest will come in handy. We might use How I Learned to drop DEFCON. And then regroup in the Middle East. Weird, but potential. That's Camp David and emit. Don't really want to play either of those, so I might try and hold one and space the other. One small step kitchen debates. And nuclear test ban. Still holding NORAD. What's the 9th card? South Africa unrest. Alright, let's event How I Learned. He's not going to be getting any coups off. We'll go there. Now, if we don't see Quagmire go, we might end up using NORAD for the ops. Well, that's a distinct bummer. So the question is whether or not we compete for... And I think we won't. Let's do that instead. And press for Africa and South America DOM. South Africa and Middle East DOM. So yeah, we're looking to hold emit and or Camp David. The problem with the next space thing is it rises to 3 ops. And we haven't seen grain sales yet, or VOA. So I'm putting myself into trouble on the space tracker. I expect to see South America pretty much controlled by the end of the term. Fine. But we'll pop 2 into Saudi. And keep the pressure up there. I may actually play Camp David and then obviously use Nasser to put it right if I need to. Spacing Amit, holding Nasser. If we can get Nasser off after Sadat, that's always good. So having invented Norab, we now want to see Quagmire go off if possible. Yeah, fine for now. We'll use Camp David to secure domination in the Middle East. Having seen Arab-Israeli go. So one in South Africa. Then we can event South African unrest to take control and cover Angola. Space emit. Gonna get a coup off. Okay, went for the Middle East. Interesting. So we'll cover it back. Shame about ABM, but I'm happy for that to drop only for 3, to be perfectly frank. Glad I caused enough trouble in the meantime. We will space emit, and we're peeking at headlines. And we'll event South African unrest. But we'll put the 2 in Botswana. Well, all of the Americas, no wonder he played lads. So we'll event this, and we'll put the influence in Botswana for presenceless Dom. Keep the pressure up there. So we're hoping to be able to headline Quagmire. Or at least get Defcon down in the headline. Genuinely fine with that. Not Bear Trap. Put the wrong card down. 5-year plan. Right, next deal. Got Quagmire. Couldn't ask for more. Great. I think we'll be going with that. Let's see what else we need to event and repair John Paul. Space Bear Trap. We're lucky we didn't get Grain or got Allende, but it's dropped. Portuguese Empire flips it, which is nice. We'll play Nixon and then steal it with Cultural Revolution. And Southeast Asia scoring currently is marginally in my favour. Yeah. We headline Quagmire. They likely clean up a patch of Africa. Okay. Relatively easy to repair. We'll give up the China card. See if they get out the trap. Then we'll take a coup. Fails. What do we want to coup with? And where? Bearing in mind the China card's not going to help us a lot, let's just get a bigger coup off with it. Great. In retrospect, good. Gets out with Che. If they play into Indonesia, that levels up. Okay, so he goes Sadat. We will respond with NASA, if only for pressure. They'll now take Egypt, and we drop Southeast Asia scoring. So the unscored cards are leaning in my favour. Well, not really. Asia, Middle East versus Africa, Europe. No, slightly in his favour, I guess. It's fairly close. We'll space bear trap. Guess we may want to do that sooner rather than later in case he missile envys us. Events flower power. To split. Cover over. Did have Middle East, not bad. Right, let's assume missile envy is not going to drop and we'll get Southeast Asia scoring away. Alright, space bear trap. Try and get some conversion going. Expecting a coup on Botswana shortly. Well, that's a bummer. Okay. Straight trade, though. As long as he doesn't get junta. We get off to space, alright. So, junta and brush war are the two massive cards unaccounted for so far. Yeah, goes on Botswana. Fails. That's a bonus. Well, looks like I got fortunate. Junta and Africa scoring. And missile envy and salt. Liberation theology. and I'll get to see what the headline is. Summit. 9th card. Cuban Missile Crisis. So let's see what the headline is, and we'll go from there. Going to be bailing a lot of cards. So, we'll headline Africa scoring and just get it scored as is. Free up our hand for plays. So we'll go Argentina coup Brazil. Well, we could go Mexico coup Brazil event Allende to get round the corner. So we will bury Yan Lone Gunman. Sok Gavan Muslim Rev. Did I miss one? OPEC as well. Beautiful. When you're gonna ask not, you ask a lot. Okay, so we'll Junta and coup Brazil. It fails. We've still got Liberation Theology in Allende, but eventing Allende to get into Argentina. Hopefully they won't play into Uruguay first. And we'll do Nuclear Subs AR7 to get it out of the deck. Is there anything worth salting? ABM Purge. D-Style, Decol. So salt's an option. So Asia's going to score in their favour. There's not a lot we can do there. We'll just try and develop ball position elsewhere. Okay, wants an extra VP. I can live with that. We will finish taking off more of South America. So Asia's scoring 6. Yeah. Have to live with that. Nor are we likely to run up a race in Europe anytime soon. Have to accept that as well. Can't make realignment rolls, so we can't do the sort ABM and try and realign on West Germany shenanigans. Eventually NATO does bite, rather. So we'll cause trouble in the Americas, take Argentina, Chile, event Liberation Theology to threaten Panama and Cuba. Missile Envy is now viable. Okay. So we'll take Argentina against puppet governments. And then we'll finish taking Chile. Also taking Peru if we need to prevent being spear realigned. Ooh, doing a lot of damage. So cover, cover, and cover. If they flip Zaire, we'll have to live with it for now. We should at least get the first coup off next turn if it comes to that. Should flip. Yeah, that's sensible. So we will finish taking Chile. Space is Willie. Gets there, but needs the space again, mind. So we will put 2 in Panama and 1 in Cuba. Man, grain sales still isn't out. Cambridge 5 goes. What do they do? 2 into Panama, that's fine recovery. We will use nuclear subs to tap Zaire to give them the choice of cooing somewhere else or not. We're going to lose some mill-ops here. They may even have a scoring card, so can't make the coup. So we're hoping for a sympathetic... Oh, there's Brush War. And it levels up South America. Bummer. So, scorers. I get Europe and Africa back, so he gets Asia. And grain sales. U2 incident. I don't think we've seen Olympic Games. Yasuri, I got Alliance. And Shuttle Dip. So we'll re-add the discards. I got Europe and Africa. Oh yeah, okay. We'll headline Lone Gunman and read their entire hand. Seems sensible. So they have to choose between scoring the points 3 and playing the coup, which, you know, they'll take the coup sensibly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we can space shuttle dip. Not that it does a ton of difference. We'll hope they get greedy and coup somewhere in Central America or South America, because that might enable us to snag Africa domination. Okay. Got Central America's going. Also got ABM. Perfect. 2 ABMs. But I can missile envy it. Perfect. Which is what I'll do. So, Che and Arab-Israeli War. Arab-Israeli War obviously is finished firing. Yes, Olympic Games. Olympic U2, Asia Yasuri, Central. So we pop 1 in there. Then we missile envy. We get ABM. They have to play Missile Envy next turn. We'll get one off on Panama. I hope it's big. It's big enough. So we will use D-Style to play 2 into Cuba, 1 into Nicaragua, 1 into Zaire. Or we use US-Japan to do the same thing. Right. We'll overload. We hope to drop our scoring cards positively. If they play into Nicaragua and Haiti, we'll get reciprocal coups going. Okay, cool. So we get Africa scoring off. They'll get Asia scoring off. Discard a held card might come in handy. Drop Europe for 1. We might space shuttle dip just to ensure we can chuck a really nasty card. If we get Muslim Revolution, it works in our favour. We really need Muslim Rev to clear out Egypt and Libya. But we're going to struggle to get under the threshold for war games. Might need to event emit even for 1 VP. Unlucky. Great, we get to discard a held card. So they've got Ushuri, Che, Arab Israel, Olympic Games. Given that we're trying to squeak close to war games, I will event OPEC for the 2 VP. It's close and it's not satisfying, but I will do it. So I get coup Costa Rica and Costa Rica alone. It does at least succeed. If he does not flip Zaire, I'll event D-Style, cover Zaire and do a bit more damage elsewhere. Okay, pumps there. Great, so let's event D-Style. We'll cover Zaire, put it back into Argentina, and pop another one into Poland to shore it up. The game's very much in their favour. They're still below the Ortega threshold, and Lone Gunman's gone. So I need OPEC plus space. Tapping. What do we think? Now I'm not going to use OPEC. I'm instead going to dominate other regions, and we'll see how the push to final works. A well-timed Muslim revolution might make all the difference here. If we can dodge tear down this wall in solidarity, then a well-timed Muslim revolution flips more regions in my favour. But it's going to be hairy. You can load up Asia. I'm a lost cause. So, we don't like AWACS. I think Liberation Theology is the headline here, though we can still get to peak. So let's see, South American, Solidarity, AWACS, Glasnost, which is not going to happen before the Reformer, unfortunately. Kitchen Debates Defectors. South America Storing, Arms Race and Libthy. Libthy can do a little bit of trouble, and we may want to snag the points for Arms Race. OPEC's being rendered moot, and the extra term might cause some trouble. And Reagan bombs Libya. So, let's start with Liberation Theology. We'll get a nice big coup off on Venezuela. Splendid. We'll use Reagan bombs Libya to push into Uruguay and try and melt down South America. We do need to try and take Thailand and North Korea back before too long. But we want to space AWACS because we do want Muslim Revolution to remain live. Close on battlegrounds. If I can get kitchen debates away, that's a bonus. But I'm going to be holding them at arm's length, basically, for as long as possible. We'll see whether or not it breaks down. You and I. On good old We Will Bury You. We'll retake Venezuela with Reagan. Yeah, so Kitchen Debates is likely to be our discard card at this point. If they get some cooing off, Arms Race will swiftly become an irrelevance. Oh man. Kind of want those 3 VP. Right, we'll use Arms Race because domination's better. If they keep tapping Venezuela, we'll put 2 in it and force them to try and play Colombia for the very shaky attempt. So, cooing on Uruguay. It worked. Dang it. Alright, so now we'll offer the coup on Colombia, and you have to use the China card to get Thailand back. Thatcher the Betrayer is there. This is not shaping up great. Okay, we'll gamble on the coup. Make it big. It's not big enough. We got kitchen debates away, but we're now going to end up South America scoring dropping for 0. We'll try again later. They may decide they have other fish to fry. So we can space AWACS and drop Solidarity with it unplayed. But we're still no closer to winning by war games. Okay, great. So we get South America for a point instead. 2 points. Can live with that. Summit to South America. So I think they're still... Oh no, they've played Arab Israeli. I'm not paying attention. Has Olympic Games gone? No. So Olympic Games is one of the 2 cards. I may instead actually play Solidarity. Oh no. No, I'm going to space AWACS. If I have to lose Asia, I lose Asia. Spacing AWACS to try and snag the 4 VPs is pretty huge. OG. Okay. With it scored. Our first failure with Roscosmos. So they'll get AR 7 and 8. The only unscored scoring cards in their favour unless we can get Muslim Revolution down, which is a big deal. So they'll flip Argentina. I will try not to zoom in so fast. And then China card AR8 to flip Thailand. I would be fine with that because I've already lost Asia. Pass on the AR8. So in the end, North Sea Oil didn't do anything for him. Didn't get war games. That is a serious dommage. Let's plug it all in. Socialist governments, junta in my favour again, which is nice. Pershing, Ortega, Cambridge 5. Didn't get Muslim Revolution either, which is a bummer. Bless you. Might as well gamble on the Indo-Pakistani War at some point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Still headline peaking. 5-year plan. Hold to turn 10 in the hopes of discarding something worse. Okay. Sadly, I can't drop DEFCON above it. Would have been lovely to have Cal. But that means I can take Brazil. And cover Thailand against the China card. Satisfied with that. So we'll be spacing Bear Trap, holding 5-year plan. Middle East scoring drops, that's a bummer. Really needed Muslim Rev to come good. What's space Bear Trap now? Fail again. Not a great time to be missing on space, but such is life. We'll event Pershing and remove West Germany, UK and Portugal to make them work a little bit to stop tear down this wall. So with everything scored, I'm looking for a sympathetic Muslim revolution to try and make the game in my favour, accepting that Asia is pretty much a lost cause. Oy. Great time to omit. What do you seize on? There are no scoring cards, mind, so it could have been worse. We're not going to get massively outdone. Muslim Revolution is a card I really don't want to see here. Muslim Revolution is a monster, with 21 cards left after this. Fidel, fine. Terrorism, fine. Brush War, fine. Doesn't want to take a gamble on Brush War. Oh, he's got flower power, I guess. Terrorism's 50. Just removed a few 50-50s as much as anything there. So we'll use the Cambridge 5 to finish taking North Korea in the hopes of a sympathetic swing. Muslim Rev, I might go Iran plus Egypt to then soften up Pakistan for Indo-Pakistani war, if it comes out. Although that means I then have to hold Indo-Pakistani war. So actually I'm probably just having a 1 in 6. I'm praying to the gods that be. Decol will just pump into Africa, not worry about Asia. So overcover Algeria, South Africa, Nigeria and Angola with Decol. Maximum pressure. Spacing Ladakh. No more headline peaking. That's a bummer, but there's only one headline to go. So what's next in order? Let's event Pershing. Mostly to force a response. So we're eventing Decol, we're eventing IPW, we're using Ortega for ops, and we will use those. Maybe just to tap Mexico, make him presenceless in Central America, make him sweat. Since there are no scoring cards to discard with 5-year plan, I guess the key question is, what am I going to do with it in turn 10? Will I have other things I want to space? Soviets tear down this wall. Okay. Yeah, it gives up on... That's great news. So we will cover our bases in Africa. At the moment, I'm very fractionally ahead on the board, as is, but very fractionally. Great. We will event Indo-Pakistani war and pray for a 1 in 6 here. No, we got the 1, not the 6. But we got our Millops. I might use 5-year plan, ditching Ortega to flip Nigeria and get control. And then we can focus on cooing Mexico for control over there. And if we can get a turn 10 Muslim Rev, oh boy, that would be so sweet. Should have gone for Nicaragua. But that's fine. Now let's hope I don't get something I wish I 5-year planned in turn 10. So, priorities are try and level up Middle East scoring. Try not to go behind in any of my regions towards the end of the game. Which necessitates another op in Cuba, because it's easy to tap that. I mean, a turn 10 AR7 VOA kills me anyway, so... Okay, Colonial Rear Guards kind of puts us back where we were. fine with that. Probably should have put one in Thailand to flip it with a China card, but... Alright, so I got VOA. That's not going off. Brilliant. I got Iran hostage crisis, which is huge right now. And Marine barracks bombing. I can use Cultural Revolution. I space tear down this wall, hold VOA as long as I don't get hand shortened. So I think, to start, Iranian hostage crisis. And then a coup on... Mexico? Yeah. Right. Start with Iranian hostage crisis. Ooh, bold. Where's he going? So I've got VOA, Star Wars, tear down this wall. Willy Brandt. One small step. Cult Rev. Star Wars. EEU. Marine barracks bombing. He has gone for Africa. So what do we think for our coup? Because I am allowed to place... It's via placing influence. So am I allowed to coup and realign? I am. So we'll start with that. And then we'll follow up with realigns as required. He should flip Zaire first. So Marine Barracks AR7. Space tear down this wall. Maybe steal the China card with Cultural Revolution. Maybe pop one in Mexico to deny presence. But we've got a space tear down this wall. Okay. Fine. So we will space tear down this wall. Because we have to space at some point this turn. We get 4 huge VPs from that. At this point in the game, those VPs are gigantic. They should flip Zaire first, because obviously Angola is very realignable. So we'll realign on Angola and take a punt. We're ahead in space. Great, that's all we need. We'll take a big old gamble here. Perfect! Oh! I can't help it if I'm lucky. So we want to steal the China card, event Marine Barracks AR7, event Willy Brandt for the VP and the break in West Germany, that's a 2 VP swing, and then event and repair Eastern European unrest, perhaps tapping Mexico to deny presence there. I think that's how our game's going to play out. We're likely to get tapped in the Middle East for their domination, and deny domination a couple other places, but hopefully we've got enough to swing the game here. They should now aim for Algeria. I guess AR-7 we want to do marine barracks bombing to put the Middle East under pressure, don't we? Lebanon out, 1 out of Egypt and Libya. Okay. I get flower power. Oh, wow. Big result. We'll steal the China card here. So we finish with marine barracks bombing. Now we might give the China card back and use 4 ops instead of the Eastern European unrest, which would need a little bit of shoring up. So 5 Willy Brandt, 6 China, 7 marine barracks bombing to pressure the Middle East. Although Middle East is now pretty securely dominated, I guess the question is, are those 2 ops better used elsewhere? But no, it forces their AR-7 to be less efficient. Better to realign before than after. Ouch. Let's do that now. So they are obliged to repair Mexico. Ooh, a lot of ops. Alright, we will use Eastern European unrest here then. And overprotect. And then if he taps Chile again, we can use marine barracks bombing and say, well, you can deny me domination in South America, but I'll deny you domination in the Middle East. And that way they can't have their cake and eat it. So currently, 10 VPs to them, 11 with the China card. So that's even, and then I dominate. Fantastic. Going all in on South America? In which case, marine barracks bombing can now dominate. The Middle East. So you can trade South America for Middle East domination, but no better. Okay. Trade domination. So, to recap, currently it's 6, 7 including the China card, versus 5, 15, 19, 20. So needs to break Syria and get a domination somewhere else. I'm not sure that's likely. I at least have Voice of America. So the worst turn 10 AR7 can't come to pass. Well, we each rode our luck in turn 10. The Iran-Iraq flip was pretty big. But then so was getting to space. There are both effectively, to some extent, full VP flips. I'm not sure trading the Middle East for... Okay, bye-bye, Gorby. 2 into Iran and 1 into Lebanon levels out the Middle East. But I still win overall. 3 into Cuba doesn't give domination. Can't split both of South America. Africa domination's almost as good as Africa control. So I think this one has gone to the Reds. Close game though. Tough one as well. Had to think all the way through. Even if I win, I'm not going to win the division, so all it does is potentially change my playoff route. Got 1 game left to go. So you can expect, I think, at this point, to see me in the playoffs. But I've got to survive 2 best of 1s before I get into the best of 3 brackets. So we'll still be riding luck for a while. But that's always fun. It's always fun to ride our luck in it. Let's talk about what you should do then. Right, Asia's dominated. You can reduce Africa a fraction. I think leveling up Middle East is best. Oh well, either way. Game. Alright, I'll do some wittering here. Thanks for watching. Comments always welcome. Thank you. And I will see you for the last game at some point in due course. Tomorrow night, I'm playing Twilight Soul's 90-minute game against P111. So there's another game coming soon. Different tournament there. Alright, take care. Speak to you soon.